Since all of you have talked to one extent or another about speaking for the client and not letting the client speak directly to agents, let me ask you a question about some isolated cases in which the government has taken the position that when a lawyer speaks with the authority and on behalf of the client, that the statements of the lawyer can be attributed to and used against the client. Two questions. Number one, have any of you had this occur? Have you been confronted with this issue? And number two, what advice do you give to lawyers and accountants who are here about being sensitive to this issue so they don't get whacked with it?
I guess that in a criminal tax investigation, when the client's counsel, taxpayer's counsel, meets with IRS criminal tax counsel, where you have a right to have a meeting under their procedure. You meet with the a special agent in charge from a different section, and you meet with the IRS criminal tax counsel. The rules provide that anything that you say can be used against the client, what they call the vicarious liability rule. But when you meet in Washington at the next level at DOJ, the rule provides that whatever you say can't be used against the client. So I guess the first thing I advise is the lawyer or the CPA first needs to know what the rule is as to when what you say can bite your client. And also, like we all know, we have to be very, very careful what you say, because it can be deemed to be an admission by the client. So you need to be very circumspect, which is the scenario is explaining where there's an examiner and the revenue agent says, I know you have a foreign bank account, and you don't let your client be there. You as a lawyer don't say, yeah, you're right, there's a foreign bank account. What I try to do is I try to from the perspective of, if the IRS, if you all take the position it's a foreign bank account and you want to write it up, we might not disagree with you, formally disagree with you, but we're not going to admit there's a foreign bank account. We're not in a position to do that. And I think that's sort of the nature of the difference between oftentimes a lawyer representing a taxpayer in a sticky situation and a CPA. We're trained differently. We as lawyers don't seem to have a problem saying no and being politely obnoxious, I guess. Whereas I have found that CPAs that do phenomenal jobs are trying to work things out. So they might be a little friendlier and a little more conversational. I don't have a problem saying no. So my direct answer is that you need to really be careful that you're not admitting anything. And if you don't know what position you later want to take, it's better to say nothing.
I think that I would join in what Dennis has said, that you have to be extremely careful. I think you also have to state up front, before you open your mouth, that what you're about to say is not intended to be an admission, and that you sometimes can get the agent to agree with what you're saying will not be deemed to be vicariously attributed to the client. However, Neil, I agree that the overwhelming majority of attorneys and accountants don't even think about that because it's never confronted them. And it's a terrible surprise when it does confront you, because now you're no longer the attorney, you are the witness. And on top of that, it always confronts you in a situation where you are a witness who admitted something, which is even worse. I do know that this is a topic that is really rearing its ugly head recently, because I recently have had the experience of talking to somebody in a criminal tax case, and before I started the conversation, I said I want to make it clear that I'm not going to be quoted as admission. I'm the attorney, not the client, et cetera. And we went through a litany of things. And I was surprised by them telling me that recently, in the last couple of months, they had asserted on more than one occasion that the attorney had made an admission on behalf of the client. So it is a hot topic right now, and it's one that really, really can embarrass you if you're not aware of it.
Very few people realize that. Very few people are aware of it, and that's why I asked.